What's going on, everybody? My name is Ronald, and welcome back to another episode of Love and Magic. Just in case you're not yet a subscriber, please guys consider subscribing because we put so much into creating these videos. And just in case you want also to support this channel financially, our till number is up and running, so you're just gonna find it down in the description. And today we have a beautiful guest, as you all can see.
Thank you.
The one and only
Pavneet Kaur Lotay.
Yes.
I know that's really hard to pronounce, but you can go with Lotay.
Lotay.
Yes.
Let's just go with Lotay.
Yes.
Yeah, so guys, I hope you're gonna enjoy this video today. And also, if you do like the video, please guys like and engage with us. Leave your comments, share to your friends, to your family and everyone. So enjoy.
So tell me, what's the whole concept behind Love and Magic? Like, how did you come up with that name?
Well, we're just spreading love, and magic to my
magician
supporters
here.
Yeah.
What is that thing? Love. What is that thing? The love angel.
Because nowadays
Cupid. Oh, you're trying to be the Cupid here.
No,
yeah,
I'm not a Cupid.
Yeah, here with your I should get your bow and arrow.
No, I'm not a Cupid. So basically we have this idea of just spreading love to people, because the world is really harsh. The best we can be is be kind to people, and just spread love to everyone, man. Love to everyone out there. Yeah, so that's how we came up. Actually, so guys, if you just view the previous podcast, there's someone I first did the podcast with called Anisha. So that's where we first came up with the title. Yeah, so basically just to spread love and stuff. Yeah, so basically this is around the problems facing young people in this generation specifically, because things to do with mental health issues. Like, young generation is really going through a lot. Yeah,
I do agree, especially considering what's been going on in the world right now. And it's really hard to imagine what they must be going through, the ones who are directly experiencing.
Yep.
And I think it's a very crucial part of our life, mental health, that has been, basically ignored at some part of it, like in the previous generations. And I think the main reason why there's so much awareness about it is because people have started asking about it. There are questions being raised about this. People actually, in a sense, have gained that awareness, that knowledge about mental health and its significance in our life.
Yep. Mental health is really crucial. Yes. And it's so funny that especially us, like from perspective of as black people from our families, our parents, this is something that our parents, they don't really care about.
Yes.
At all.
I do agree that, and most Indian families are basically, I'm sure they can relate as well. I'm sure people must have heard, oh, you're just being lazy.
Yeah.
Get up and do some work.
Is it the same on your end?
Yes, it's almost the same. I think we can relate to each other in very many ways.
Yeah, and I think it's time we really make this mental health issue a normality. Yeah, because it has gotten to a point where we really have to be serious with our mental issues.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Which takes us to our main topic of the day, which is self-esteem.
Yep.
And having what it means to have low self-esteem. So before I get into that, I want to tell a bit about myself.
Yep.
So people don't assume that I'm just talking anything just like that. So I just recently graduated with a degree in counseling and psychology from Daystar University. And thank you so much. And it's been quite a journey because when I first started, I started with business. And
like that's a completely different degree.
That's completely different. I was doing diploma in business administration, and then I moved to when I went for my undergraduate program, I took Bachelor of Commerce in accounting.
That's another.
That's a completely
different.
And I was thinking of double major, but I'm just happy I chose this path. And honestly, to say, I was curious to learn about psychology, and I'm just glad that it became like part of me. Now it's part of me now. Like
as a person.
Yeah, well, you learn so much. You become like you're now in a constant journey of self-reflection, basically. And trying to become a good person, trying to be empathetic, being self-aware. It's a challenge in itself, but it's something that I encourage others, and I also want to encourage myself to do that as well. So, which now we want to start with the self-esteem.
Yeah. Well, reflecting on my life back then, I think as a kid, I right now I'm a grown man, so I don't really, find it difficult to, socialize out there, to go out there. But as a kid, I remember I had a very high social anxiety. Like personally, well, I remember even going to church. It was hard for me to even, just to communicate with my fellow, my fellow people over there. Like it was so crazy. It was hectic to the point of, I think my parents could even understand it. Now sometimes I'll just tell my parents, today I'm not going to church. And they tell me, why? You really have nothing to say. Yeah, because you can't say you're afraid of people or something, And well, I think at the moment I have outgrown it. Right now, I think
You're able to go to church now?
Yeah, I'm able to face, new people. I'm able to even make new friends,
Yeah.
Right now I'm able to meet new people, and basically I'm courageous.
That's good to hear. That's really good to hear, and I absolutely relate with that. And when you said that you couldn't express yourself when they asked you why, I absolutely get that, because when I was young, I was also dealing with low self-esteem, which also kind of promoted to having anxiety, social anxiety, having to interact with others. And I couldn't figure out what was going on with me. I thought there was something wrong with me. But I'm glad none of that, I'm able to overcome that. And now I am confident in myself.
Right now.
Yeah. And I'm sure people can relate now and can also share the experiences as well.
Yeah. And the funny thing about it, the amazing thing about it is that it's really normal. It's normal.
A very common experience.
Yeah, I think the only question is the only question we need to ask ourselves is what could be the cause of this low self-esteem and stuff. From your professionalism, like, do you maybe have some idea of the cause of all these?
Before we get into that, I just want to apologize about the noises. There's a construction going on nearby, and now it just started raining. So I hope you can hear us and can forgive us for that.
Yeah.
We can't control the weather. We can't control our neighbors. But what we can do is control ourselves, our emotions, our behavior, and our thoughts. So you said what can be the cause of self-esteem, low self-esteem, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So first of all, we need to ask ourselves, what is self-esteem?
Mm-hmm.
So self-esteem is a sense of our self worth or personal value.
Mm.
And when someone has low self-esteem, they have a negative evaluation of themselves, which leads to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt.
Yeah.
So when we talk about low self-esteem, self-doubt is very central to that,
Mm-hmm.
because you're doubting yourself constantly.
Mm-hmm.
That's really key there. So an important thing I also want to discuss is, like, with my psychology knowledge, I want to really touch on the humanistic theory, which was pioneered by Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow. I don't know if you've heard about Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
No.
It's a triangle which I will later describe, but right now I just want to talk about the key concepts surrounding that theory. So basically, their theory emphasized on personal growth, self-fulfillment, and intrinsic values.
So that's
self-growth,
self-growth.
self-fulfillment. Now that is touched in their pyramids and everything, whatever they've introduced in their theories. So now central to that theory was the concept of self-worth, ideal self, and self-concept. So self-worth is basically your values and your respect to yourself, or a person's values and respect to themselves. And it influences your confidence. Your self-worth influences your confidence.
Right.
And it influences your decision making, whatever decisions you make in life, and your emotional well-being. And another thing is that self-worth is developed through experiences throughout your life, throughout your childhood, until now where you are.
You're self-aware.
Yes, and positive reinforcement can lead to a sense of higher self-worth. And honestly, I would say, like, don't rely mostly on what other people have told you. And mostly, we will touch on this, honestly. Like, I want to talk on negative self-talk and also, like, validation from others as well, which we'll discuss.
Which is, yeah.
Yes. And the second concept was ideal self, who you aspire to be. Who's your ideal self? Who do you want to be as? And this would be based on your goals. And it would be different for every individual because of the cultural and social norms, their own personal values, their beliefs, principles, and etc. And so regarding that, they mentioned that if your ideal self is much more higher than what you can achieve, like the gap is too much from your real self and the ideal self, that can cause low self-esteem.
Really?
Yeah.
That actually makes sense.
Yes, if you have such high standards.
Yeah, but then
in
reality.
Yes, which we'll talk about that again. And there's also self-concept, your view of yourself.
Yeah.
What is your view of yourself? What do you think of yourself, your personality and everything? Your real self, who you view as, what you think others view you as. Those are things you must ask yourself as well to get to know yourself better. So I just wanted to touch on that, which was, I felt like it would be really crucial for the viewers to know.
Understanding.
Yeah, to understand. And we'll later touch, like, I want to touch about on the characteristics on low self-esteem. So if you feel like you're relating, then you have I wouldn't diagnose. Everyone has, like, that sense, like, you at some point, I'm not like saying you have that. Well, if you relate completely, you have that, but it's just to gain self-awareness,
Yeah.
to become informative about this knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the characteristics is negative self-talk. Now we talked about that.
Right.
So have you ever told yourself like things like, I'm useless, I'm a failure, I am dumb, I'm
Yeah.
stupid?
You know, that happens literally every time. Every time.
It
Yeah.
does. It does.
I can actually, I can, that has happened even, like it really happens to me daily.
That's something
You're
we
not
should work
enough.
on. That's something we'll work on as well by the end.
Uh-huh.
And another thing is you fear failure. You
Yeah.
fear
Oh
rejection.
my God. Oh my God. That's me.
Which leads to the other point, which correlates, is because you avoid challenges due to failure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And another thing is you compare yourself a lot with others.
Mm. Mm.
And it's not in a way that you are gaining inspiration or anything. It's like literally to degrade yourself.
To degrade yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is really unhealthy. That's really unhealthy.
Low self-esteem.
Yes. And another thing is people have difficulty accepting compliments.
Mm. Yeah.
I have seen that
It's
actually.
so funny.
Yeah.
I've actually complimented a chick, a girl. She's so pretty. You know, all those and the, okay, honestly, I expected something better, but then it ended up being an argument type of thing. Like, just saying thank you. It's crazy.
I'm sure people have difficulty accepting compliments, and they have their own reasons to do that, and it's absolutely understandable. Okay, we should try to be more empathetic regarding this situation. We never know whom or whoever we might see, or how they might feel. We don't know how others might feel. So I would say I just hope she's doing better now, and I hope she sees this video and gains some knowledge regarding
difficulty accepting compliments. Yeah, that's unhealthy.
I was actually seeing a video about like it was a really long time back. So they were they went to a high school or something in, I don't know where, and they were complimenting the students there. They're like teenagers, and they tell them, you're beautiful. And most of their reactions were, some were angry, like they were like, what are you talking about? You're just crazy. You should, why are you saying that? You're just joking. Yeah, you're not, it's not
it's
real.
Actually irritating to them.
Yeah, it's irritating. And some were just like heartbroken. They were actually like fell on a verge of tears, like
damn.
And some actually accepted.
Serious.
And that speaks a lot on the mental health of teenagers. And
do you think child's growth kind of affects someone's self-esteem on growing up?
Yes, I think children, like when you become a teenager, at some point you must have become conscious about your actions, the way you look and everything. You became more self-aware about everything. And that really affects growth. And it depends, like if you are too you've indulged so much into the negative thoughts and everything about this growth, it will affect you in the future if you don't address it on time. So it's very important to tell children, like educate teenagers, especially when they hit puberty. So that's very important. And some of the red flags of unhealthy self-esteem is perfectionism. I wouldn't generalize perfectionism. Like I don't want everyone to come under the umbrella like, oh, you have low self-esteem and all that. People are different, and we should accept that. And like for example, I can give like about an author who is just not willing to publish his work because he thinks that it's not good enough.
It's not good enough.
So he goes and revises it again and again and again and again until he's satisfied. But you never know if he'll ever be satisfied, because he feels like he's not done enough. Yeah, he like that unrealistic standards he has set that for himself. And another thing is self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, in a way that you undermine your successes. Like you, even your ability to achieve a success. Like, you know, most students, or not most, I wouldn't say all, but sometimes some students would just give up on studying because, well, they'll say like, I will fail anyways. Yeah. Are you relating to this?
Hell yeah. There is this, do you think solitude is also a characteristic of low self-esteem? Where like you just decide to be alone, you know?
I guess so, because when we will indulge in that, like, okay, so when you lose, like, there's a possibility that you could lose interest slowly when you start undermining yourself so much. You could just be comfortable on your own because you're afraid of taking challenges. Yeah, like we discussed, one of the characteristics, avoiding challenges because of fear.
Fear of failure.
Honestly, fear is the bane of most of the problems, I would say, but it's also one of the reasons why we survive in this world. So we shouldn't treat it as a good thing or a bad thing. It's crucial for us, and we should learn to accept it as part of us.
Sure.
So we just need to strengthen ourselves, like become stronger in ourselves.
Yeah.
Our self-worth should be stronger.
Yeah.
And then another red flag is, well, seeking validation, excessive validation. You'd see people posting stuff online just for the sake of getting likes and comments. They want it to be more that validation that they get from others, and that's not a healthy thing to do. You don't want to build your self-worth based on the validation of others. So we will later discuss how, like, we can what is healthy self-esteem, like, and how we can kind of alleviate the unhealthy part.
I think on that part, on that red flag, social media is really active there.
Oh, yeah. We will talk. It's under causes, by the way.
Causes of
low self-esteem. So, which we are getting into it now, and let's start with the early childhood. The development process will go there up slowly. So now, during early childhood, like, basically, if you grew up in an environment that is overly critical, and you're neglected, abused, that can affect your self-esteem in the future, or even then. Like, for example, a child that is constantly criticized for making mistakes, they might feel inadequate, and that
happens a lot in our education system, especially the kindergarten.
I think we all grew up with a teacher like that. who would slap us out of nowhere.
You're asking a question you don't know.
I honestly, like, one of the reasons I was afraid to even answer a question in class was because I was afraid of being shamed. I was afraid, like, oh, the teacher's gonna say, what a stupid question, or the students around me are gonna be like,
laughing.
End up laughing. And I think a teacher should be the mature person in that situation and encourage children to raise as many questions as they can without shaming them, without undermining their ability or anything. Like, you don't want to tell your students, oh, you didn't come from a good school, or where did you get that from? That was really I don't know, they don't say stupid directly, but their words can sometimes feel really cut you. But We don't want to
parents.
be too strict. We don't want to be too soft as well.
Yeah.
We want to keep a balance. We also want to encourage children. We want to correct their mistakes in a way that does not affect their self-esteem to a point that they're undermining themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and that affects their ability to achieve what they need to achieve in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, which is really important. And one of the other causes is
That we were on child development, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That stage is now, we've also talked about the teenage stages that
Mm.
just basically neglect, abuse, and
Critics.
yeah, and social comparison.
Mm.
Now that is a lot.
Literally, that used to happen to me as a kid. My mom would see a better neighbor kid and be
Yeah.
like, look at and look at you.
Oh, we
Can't you
also,
just be
yeah. I that is quite a common experience, I guess. A universal, I guess. That happens a
Yeah.
lot in Indian communities. Oh, look at his son, he's got 96.
Yeah.
You got 94.
Yeah. Can't you
Well,
just do better?
yeah. Well, that's an
that's
exaggeration, but in reality, it's kind of different, and the comparison is there
Yeah.
between children, and that really, it really changes their perspective of themselves.
Mm.
That is, yeah, and media influence. Media influence.
Media influence.
That I have just said one word, and I'm sure everyone understands.
Yeah.
And must have seen online what kind of how how different contents affect children.
Mm.
And first of all, the unrealistic beauty standards on social media.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
god.
yeah.
I like, children are just children. Like, I'm sure they don't understand the concept behind filters and Photoshop or something. I'm sure they do now, but at some point they will learn about that. But before they learn about that, they're gonna be like, oh my god, I have to be like that. And
Look at Rihanna.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I
yeah,
want to be like Rihanna.
it leads to development of eating disorders and other like problems that later affects them because they're trying to achieve that standards. It really puts a negative image of themselves whenever they look in the mirror.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not saying all the content on social media is wrong, and that is why it needs to be controlled by parents.
Moderated, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was just seeing this video online about this really young girl. She's looking in the mirror, and she's so young, actually, very young. She's not even a teenager. She's just holding her dress like this, trying to tighten up, and then her stomach. She's just a baby, and she has that stomach, which obviously every child has, and she's looking at it, and it's so heartbreaking to see that. It's literally
That's
so
bad.
heartbreaking. It's just the hourglass body shape that is literally ruined it. But truly, I'm not going to comment on that, but kids have been affected in that, and that's why parents should take measures on not controlling, but to monitoring the content their children consume.
Yeah.
And not just children. Adults are also victim of that.
Yeah. People are doing crazy things out here just because of the,
to
the
one
people they
up
look up
each
to.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's good if you want to inspire yourself, use it as a motivation. But you should be aware of what goes behind it. And you can't expect yourself with limited resources and not enough knowledge about it to get there, or you start undermining yourself. Oh, I'm ugly, I'm this, and I can't do this. Just don't let that content define you.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I've actually remembered, like, when I was around 15, when I was back in high school, it was really hard for me to find a to find a to like find a girlfriend. You know why?
Why?
Yeah, it's because the standard of beauty had set for myself from what I used to see from other celebrities. So it was crazy that you just think
You didn't feel confident in
yeah,
yourself to approach her.
not like in a way, in a point of you want
Well, you want to be the best before you approach her.
or like you want a girl whose beauty standards matches the kind of beauty standard you have in your mind that you
Okay.
saw on
You had expectations of her.
right.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
That is also one of the problem in the world today. It's having unrealistic beauty standards from your partner.
Yeah.
Hey.
From what you saw from internet.
From what you saw from the... Oh, my God.
That was crazy. Damn.
I think this is why I think it's really important, and this goes back to your channel's name, Love and Magic. Love is not conditional on looks only.
Yep.
And one's character should also matter.
Yeah, characters matter
a lot.
A lot.
And apparently cheating has become a norm in our generation, which is really a concern.
Yep.
And a lot of times, I wouldn't be surprised if one of the reasons or behind cheating is low self-esteem.
Yeah.
You're not secure in yourself. You're seeking validations.
Yep.
And that's not a very healthy thing to do to yourself and your partner. And yeah.
So guys, love. Love. All right, so that was on childhood development.
Yep.
Next.
Oh, we talked about a few: social comparison, media influence. We went there, and also successes and failures.
Successes and failures.
Yeah.
In what sense?
If you have been to a point where you've constantly, like, you've not been good at studies, you've not had enough achievements in life, that can literally diminish one's self-esteem. Because one's achievements can help create one's sense of self-worth. Because it makes them feel proud that they have done this. It makes them, like, when someone is just constantly failing, they just question themselves. Like, am I worth it?
Yep. Was this really meant for me?
Yeah.
Am I really fit for this?
Yeah. That really affects one's self-esteem. So we can go on and on about the causes, because it's not a specific thing for each one of us. It's different, and it all depends on our personal experiences, growth, and how we were brought up. So our social environment, our personal values, and everything really affects us. And I think we touched a crucial topic, in which was unrealistic beauty standards, and that's one of the main reasons leading to low self-esteem in this generation. I think we have a lot of a set standard of that perfect nose, that perfect figure,
perfect lips.
And hey, that's a lot.
List is long.
The list goes on, and
people are opting for plastic surgeries, bleaching,
which is, if you want to do it, you can do it. But once what do you say? Like, it takes time to look in the mirror and be proud what you look at. It takes time. And if you want to go out and do plastic surgery, it's fine. It's your choice. But let it be for the good reasons. If it helps builds one's confidence, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But if it becomes like an addiction, that's a problem. that's a problem, and that should be looked upon. So yeah.
Hey, man, that was detailed.
Do you have a personal experience you'd like to share regarding
regarding low
self-esteem?
self-esteem?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've had a lot of experiences in my life. Even I bet, even right now, I still have, some experiences with low self-esteem. But lately, what I've been working on a lot is, to just, improve myself. I've been investing a lot on self-awareness so that I can,
Yeah.
be a better version of myself.
That is, you said a very, really nice word, self-awareness.
Yeah.
I think we need to focus that as like a generation, as we come together
Yep.
as a generation.
Yeah.
Self-awareness can teach you a lot about your feelings, your emotions,
Sure. Yeah.
especially your emotions. I think men especially need to look at that. And I feel like you've been denied to ever feel anything, like to cry.
To
It's
be
okay.
vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all right to feel that. You need to be aware, like, I'm feeling this.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And I can feel that. And there's
It's
nothing
normal.
wrong with that.
Yeah.
And it can teach you a lot, which in itself, it's a whole another topic to discuss at, because how can we do that? What can we look at? And just being physically aware and internally aware as well of your well-being and everything, that can help you a lot and can help you develop a lot of different perspectives on life. Yeah.
Do you think there's some, standard ways on how to deal with low self-esteem?
Yes. How can you develop like a healthy self-esteem? Number one is to identify your thoughts, like moments or triggers, basically, when you feel like, oh, I am feeling like this, or you're telling yourself those thoughts, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, and everything. Identifying that is also very crucial. That is also one part of gaining self-awareness. You wouldn't even realize that, oh, you were saying this to yourself in that moment until it's done. So, but when you have said it, just tell yourself, hold up. Now we go to the second part, reframing. Yes. So if you're saying, oh, I'm a failure, you're telling yourself that, you should try to reframe it. Maybe you made a mistake or something, and you're bashing yourself like that. Just say, it's okay, I made a mistake. Mistakes can happen, but I will learn from this.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. That can be an eye opener. So just don't bash yourself, don't beat yourself so harshly. Just say, things happen, and I will
accept.
I will move on.
Yep.
Not just move on, I will persevere, I will fight it. And I will become better at that. Don't bash yourself at the first time and you give up without trying or anything. Just believe in yourself. Yeah. And set realistic goals. Yeah, like we talked about ideal self. Now that we talked about the gap between your real self and your ideal self, and if it's a huge gap, then it causes low self-esteem. So setting realistic goals, setting SMART goals, which is an abbreviation, SMART, for specific, measurable, realistic, achievable, time specific. That is something you should draft for yourself as your personal goal.
Right.
Yeah. And there is more to discuss.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So, is there something you used to do when you're combating low self-esteem?
Um, well, it gets to a point where you just have to, you just accept what is in front of you, and you just learn how to move on from it. That's actually what I've been doing a lot.
Which leads to another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Always appreciate every success of your life, even if it's the minor one.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bash yourself for the mistakes you've made, but also remind yourself of the successes you've had in life. Yeah, even if it's a small one. So yeah, and accepting yourself is a very crucial thing.
Yeah.
And personally, my growth has been like, personally, from my experience with low self-esteem, I would say I had pretty low self-esteem when I was growing up. Like, I was not confident in myself. And you can tell someone has like low self-esteem by their posture, actually.
Yeah.
By their body language. So I had slouching shoulders. I was not confident in myself at all as a woman. And I would slouch like this, and I was not, like, it was definitely a challenge, because first thing was to recognize, was to realize, and then try to change that habit. Was, I mean, it's still an ongoing process, but at
what stage in life did you realize that?
I think when I started acknowledging my successes, my achievements, and like, growing up, I was not really a smart student, to be honest, and I used to bash myself for that. I'm using the word bash a lot, because that's how it literally felt like.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
And I would say all those negative things, and trust me, they are automatic. To be honest, they're automatic thoughts. They just come out like that, and you can't sometimes help it. So what you have to do is recognize it. The moment you say it, recognize it and reframe it. That can change your feelings towards you, especially. You wouldn't feel so inferior. So that's really important. And it was definitely a growth, and I thank God, especially. And I encourage the youth of today to pray and meditate on God's name, and just generally meditate and self-reflect on your actions and see how you can change and move forward. And seeing yourself in a mirror today, and just see what are the first few things that come in your mind. If they're not positive, try to change, like, make them, like, just see yourself as an individual who would love yourself as your child self. Like, just look at your child self and see what you're doing to that child self.
Yeah.
You were saying?
I've actually find meditation really helpful for me lately. You know, and meditation. Also reading.
Reading?
Yeah.
Yes. I think you should be motivating me to read, because I used to think I'm a reader, but
and also, I used to see people reading books, like over 1,000-page book. I never understood, honestly. Right now, it's a form of, let's say, it's just another way to, I think it's a form of meditation as well. You
relaxing.
Get to reflect on yourself a lot.
It helps you keep your mind distracted or relaxed. It's different for everyone, obviously. I love taking long walks
in nature.
Yeah, it helps me clear my mind.
Same here.
Yeah, that it really helps. Plus, it's healthy.
Yeah, and also having a pet.
Yes, I do have a pet. He is sleeping. I think that is also one of the things you can do to relax.
Yeah, ever since I got a pet, Life has been good, honestly.
I can say the same. There's the
Mhm.
moment I feel down, I can just go to my pets, even though it's a
Yeah,
cat and it
yeah,
hates
yeah.
affection. My cat hates affection, so but still he tolerates me.
Uh-huh. You
Yeah.
know, I always ask cat people, how do you feel? You know, there's this vibration cats usually have.
Mm.
Like, how do you handle that?
Are you talking the purr?
No, the vibe. I think how they breathe,
Yeah, I think
because
it's
they kind of.
purring.
Mhm.
It's honestly, it has its own health benefits if you check
Oh,
online.
really?
Yeah,
For
if
you or the cats?
for humans especially.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because it helps, especially if you're dealing with high blood pressure, like
Mm.
my dad.
Mm-hmm.
It really helps you calm down. Because if you see them go clumsy around a string,
Mm.
you're like, look at them. They're finding this thing joyful.
Uh-huh.
And look at me, I'm struggling because I can't even find joy in minor things.
Yeah.
But it really teaches a lot in life. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I love cats, and they teach you about respecting boundaries, honestly.
Mm.
Their boundaries, not mine. So, yeah.
Ah, yeah. Oh, so guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we're really, really grateful for just having, taking your time to watch and listen to us. And we can't just take that for granted.
Yeah.
That means a lot to us, and we are really grateful for that. So, just in case you haven't yet subscribed, guys, consider subscribing, and also share to everyone. Love everywhere, guys.
Love.
Bye bye.
Bye.